K-News.
No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to tell the protocol? Then you call the pope. Oh yeah, I listen to Jamabele, the jack the pope, what I do for why you keeping the pope there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they will say they will do they want, do they want. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my black bone, some of my
Where you say?
The former President Weah regime, but since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. Big challenge for us as a motorcyclist and gone irrelevant to say we are failure foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there.
Good morning from Painesville and welcome to K-News. As K-News is 45-minute presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Thursday, July 10, 2025. My name is Benjamin Gabriel Keba. On today's presentation of the news, we take a short break while we return to the package of the news. Welcome back to the news. We take our first development where former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has urged the Black Icon Unity Party-led government to extend its national reconciliation initiative beyond the reburial of former leaders and honoring the memory of victims of Liberia's 14-year intermittent bloody civil war. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf
on Saturday when President Ford
prepared that such reconciliation efforts cannot be achieved amidst political, religious, and tribal division. She cautioned the Black Icon administration to take practical approaches to rally the support of political, religious, and tribal leaders for a genuine reconciliatory drive that will serve the interests of all citizens. According to Africa's first female president, the Unity Party-led government will not easily succeed in achieving its agenda for inclusive development amidst national division. Madam Sirleaf pointed out that honoring past leaders through symbolic rebellions is necessary for national reconciliation, but the people picture remains reconciling the day-to-day national issues.
Saturday when President Boakai, on behalf of, apologized to all of those who've been hurt. We did it then, and it was done. It's just done again. Now, you may say you did it then, but did it actually, heal the wounds? Did it actually bring us together in the reconciliation? Are we not more at this time, our systems have fallen apart? But anyway, let's consider that a good step, and let's hope that now there can be follow-ups to make it real, to make reconciliation real. We still have a very divided society in so many ways, whether it's along political lines, whether it's on ethnic lines, what is on even you may say religious lines. Even that should not even be. But we do have those divisions, and it would take an extra effort on all the leaders to be able to bring it back. You cannot have a nation this divided and hope to achieve the goals that we have set in our agenda and in our vision.
She is former Liberian President, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. As the March publicized July 17 protest approaches, renowned Liberian exiled political activist Martin Colley has cautioned the government and organizers of the planned protest to collaborate to avoid a chaotic situation. Martin Colley, who canvassed the Unity Party to assume state power, said the government under President Joseph Boakai must uphold Article 17 of the 1986 Constitution to protect the right of citizens who may be involved in the protest to a peaceful assembly. The Liberian exile political activist urged the Boakai Koun administration to endure a high level of tolerance for criticism and grievance against its regime. He further called on the government through the Liberian National Police and the lead protest organizer stands to ensure smooth coordination for a peaceful assembly to prevent potential clashes between state security and would-be protesters. Colley emphasized that protecting the right of citizens to protest is part of the democratic principles of the state, but reminded the July 17 protesters to remain cognizant of their rights to express their disenchantment and disengage from provoking the free movement of others.
It is run by a constitution. We have to be clear about that. The constitution guarantees two things. Number one, right. Number two, responsibilities. I would like to state for the record, it is the right of Mr. Molu and his civil society to protest, to assemble. And that right is protected under Article 17 of the Constitution. And the government of the day, the government of President Joseph Yoman Boakai, is under obligation to protect that right. Yesterday we protested. If protest was right yesterday, it is also right today. In fact, it is a core principle of our democracy. So it is the right of Mr. Molu and his group to protest. I will ask the police to collaborate with them, to coordinate with them in order for the protest to be peaceful. On the other side, Mr. Molu and his group also have responsibilities under the Constitution to ensure that the protest is well organized in order to not disrupt the free flow of traffic, because other people have rights to free movement. I will ask the police to collaborate with them, to coordinate with them in order for the protest to be peaceful. On the other side, Mr. Molu and his group also have responsibilities under the Constitution to ensure that the protest is well organized in order to not disrupt the free flow of traffic, because other people have rights to free movement. They have the right to assemble, other people have rights to free movement. So there's two ways, right? The police also have the responsibility to ensure law and order. They need to meet halfway to say, look, okay, we recognize your right to protest. However, we have to organize it in a way that normal activities are not disrupted.
His political activist, Martin Colley. The House of Representatives has received a report from its Joint Committee on National Security and Judiciary endorsing the establishment of the Liberian National Police Trust Fund. During Tuesday's plenary session, the House Chief Clerk Major Sion read the committee's findings, which support the creation of a dedicated and transparent funding mechanism aimed at strengthening police operation, particularly in law enforcement, crime prevention, and public safety. The proposed law titled Act to establish the Liberia National Police Trust Fund of 2025 highlights long-standing logistical and operational challenges facing the Liberia National Police. The committee believes that sustainable and accountable funding is key to improving professionalism within the force. If enacted, the law will authorize funding from both government and international sources to be managed by a board of trustees under strict financial grievances and guidelines. Lawmakers says the initiative will reduce reliance on ad hoc budgetary support and ensure consistent funding for critical public police services, training, and infrastructure.
And judiciary on quote unquote an act to establish the Liberia National Police Trust Fund of 2025. Background of the report. A bill titled quote unquote an act to establish the Liberia National Police Trust Fund of 2025 was submitted to the plenary of the House of Representatives on June 19, 2025. The submission was done under the sponsorship of Honorable James M. Colette, Representative District 2, Bon County. In his submission letter, an argument on the floor, the sponsor of this bill entreated plenary to pass the bill into law, indicating that its passage stands to benefit the Liberia National Police in particular and the Republic in general. It is understood that when enacted into law, the instrument will function in supporting a range of law enforcement priorities, including improving police infrastructure, upgrading equipment, enhancing officer training and welfare, and boosting community policing initiatives. The proposed fund will also focus on strengthening intelligence gathering and emergency response capacity and function as a paramount autonomous entity with the authority to own assets, enter into contracts, and pursue legal actions as necessary.
She is Madam Madra Sayo, the Chief Clerk at the House of Representatives. Representative Small Mobile of Maswada County Electoral District 3 has called for a swift national response to rising insecurity in local communities, citing an overwhelming escalation in armed robbery and public safety threats during night hours. Addressing scores of journalists on Wednesday, July 9, 2025, Representative Mobile disclosed that he had officially communicated with the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police requesting urgent intervention in areas such as Johnsonville Pipeline, Jacketown, Red Hill, Dupont Road, and Badnersville. The District 3 lawmaker emphasized the need to introduce controlled no-go zone aimed at easing traffic and strengthening nighttime patrols.
Also, a letter was sent to the IG of the Liberia National Police for issues relating to high rate of armed robbery in community at night. It is essential to address the issue of protests for the sake of citizen safety and to focus on implementing no-go zone to facilitate another traffic flow. Additionally, attention should be given to the crime rate at night. Citizens have worked hard to start businesses only to be robbed at gunpoint with a rusty single barrel, and have every time people have taken away what belongs to them. I personally experienced this in Johnsonville, where some well-armed bike rider attacked another person on the street. Mr. IG, your efforts are appreciated, but more emphasis is needed on crime prevention during May 9. Please visit Red Line, Johnsonville, Pipeline, Jacketown, Dupont Road, and Badnersville. Secondly, I feel very frustrated as a young person about how the youth of this country are taken for granted. Over the years, government have not decided enough effort to address the challenges faced by young people. Many talented youth who were held in school and participated in soccer league have now become drugs addicts. Some have become vulnerable in society due to unemployment. However, they are being asked to join the district league by the Liberia Football Association without receiving stipend despite being included in the budget. The Liberia Football Association approved a $5.7 million budget for the 2025 operational year during its 29th Ordinary Congress on April 12, 2025. The budget was adopted with a vote of 28 in favor.
Representative Mobile has expressed deep concern over what he called the consistent neglect of young people by the national authorities. He lamented the rapid increase in drug addiction among school-age youth, many of whom he said were once actively involved in community football leagues, but now victims of joblessness and substance abuse. Representative Mobile criticized the Liberia Football Association for inciting district youth to join the National League and activities without offering employment or stop paying despite a $5.7 million operation budget.
Over 11,000 foreigners and other occupying positions that belongs to Liberians per the Article 45.1 of the Decent Work Act 2018. And they say should have been filled by Liberian citizens, but not yet. They are filled with foreigners. Are we considering the 500 graduates of Cottington Graduate School? Are we also considering 1,000 graduates from other universities that need yet they have not been given jobs? Have we also considered that young people may not be able to afford the 130 fee for vocational training? If young people cannot secure jobs through government support for themselves and their family, a hungry youth will lack the strength and motivation to join football league. Having just finished the county league, we now need to prioritize and cut necessary expenses. Major public concerns including flooding, drugs issues, and training programs.
His Montreal County District 3 Representative Mobile. The House Committee on Ways, Means, Finance and Development Planning has commended several government functionaries for what the committee has termed a strong contribution to national revenue collection. The committee presented the first quarter of the 2025 revenue performance report along with details of a new loan agreement between the Republic of Liberia and the African Development Bank as well as the African Development Fund. The agreement aims to provide institutional support to enhance domestic revenue mobilization and advance reform initiatives. Maryland County Electoral District 1 Representative Mark P. Jewell was
This is a crime in the opinion of the community. Once you are withholding your role as a
undermining Liberia's ability to generate sufficient funds for national development. Representative Jewell noted during the hearing that the committee has discovered several government employees are not paying income taxes, which he described as a violation of the law. He called members of the House of Representatives to take the matter seriously and implement appropriate measures.
fellow police, this is a crime in the opinion of the committee. Once you are withholding, your role as a withholding entity is not different from that of LRA. Because once you withhold, at the end of the month, you're supposed to remit them withholdings right away to the LRA. But most institutions are not doing so. But they pay salaries, they withhold, and they don't remit. We feel that this is a crime and it's a serious matter, and this House needs to take a serious action on it. We also realize that our colleagues or some other employees, judiciary branch, all of us, by law, we pay income tax, all of us, but we realize that there are people working in the judiciary branch that are not paying income taxes as well, and this is also wrong. We realize that all fees that are collected by different agencies, internally generated funds, those funds are not being captured. If you are
are running a hospital, for example, and you collect registration fees, or if you are in a court and they pay or fines or all of these fees, all of them should be put together, captured, and used by your entity. The percentages that are used should be captured so that this can be counted against you in your budget, but we carry up or increase the budget for the year. These things are not being done. We also realize that in some of the legislation that we have passed before, there are ambiguities. We need clarity. We need to review those laws so that we can set a path of clear understanding of how taxes should be collected in this country. Honorable Speaker, fellow colleagues, we made a couple of recommendations towards this report, and these recommendations, we think, if we work together, we can increase our budget, covering the leakages and working towards correcting those ambiguities that are within the law.
His Maryland County District 1 Representative B. Mark Jury. The Liberia Council of Churches has ended a one-day meeting with the Solidarity Trust for a New Day, organizer of the July 17 protest at its headquarters in Congo Town. Speaking with K News minutes after the meeting, which was held on Wednesday, July 9, 2025, LCC Secretary General Reverend Christopher Toole disclosed that the meeting is intended to encourage the leaders of stands for the protest to be peaceful. According to Reverend Toole, the LCC wants to know the demands or points that stands wants to put forward to the government of Liberia for an amicable redress. Reverend Toole explained that the council is expected to meet with the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia National Police to provide security for the protesters in order to avoid violence.
The issue of the detail in regard to the protests, the July 17 protests that starts according to Stan on the 15th and up to the 17th. And the issue was discussed how to do with the peace, the non-violent approach to the protests. We've done not a violent approach to protests, for people to be able to respect the law, the issue of respectability of the law, the issue of making sure that people's rights are also respected, and also a follow-up for us to be able to meet also with the government, the Ministry of Justice, and that of the Liberia National Police in terms of the protection of the protesters, and to make sure that the whole process. So by tomorrow, we want to meet with the government, of the National Police, and that of the Ministry of Justice to be able to make sure that everything is on course. It's not an issue of being afraid. We did it June 7th. It's our responsibility as the peace actor in the country to make sure that everything is peaceful. The Council of Churches took action on June 7th when the protests in 2019, when the protests were carried out by the COP. And we did like manner. We met with the COP. We also met with the government. And we made sure that the necessary acts were put into place so that the protest was not violent. Although we don't have the mindset of people, but we make sure that those who are carrying out the protest, their process is non-violent, and also the government also provides security for protesters. We also did it with the entire suffering, with the ANC-led protest. And so this is our responsibility as the Council of Churches to make sure that whatever protest that is carried out, that protest is non-violent. Because people have to demonstrate their rights to protest, but that protest should be non-violent. So Stan will be providing to us, they will be providing also us in writing those the points that they will be lifting up. And so until we can receive that from them, we know that they are just setting up the stage for their demonstration or their protest, which will be July 17th, and we hope to receive. They also inform us that they will also provide us those information officially with regard to their position, and that also will hold on to that. I know the government also has received it, and we will work with the both parties to make sure that the protest is peaceful, is non-violent, and so that whatever that that come out of the protest in terms of recommendations, they can be looked at in the interest, if it is anything in the interest of the Liberian people.
Meanwhile, the organizers of the July 17 protest have strongly warned against any attempt by the Liberia National Police and the Liberia National Security Agency to allow armed agents to infiltrate the protesters so as to create the basis for unprovoked violence. State's national chairman Mobile Molu described
our message for him is as they decide, as a plan to send agents, to send spies, to plant weapons about protesters.
Citizens' arrest of such agents. Molu made it unequivocally clear that nobody or an angel from heaven can persuade states and its collaborating civil society organizations. According to Molu, Stance has no plans of staging a violent protest, but any attempt of such will be from the Liberian government plans agents.
Him is as they decide, as they plan to send agents, to send spies, to plant weapons among protesters, and to plant evidence to create the suspicion or to create the basis for a crackdown. We have activated our groundswell of citizens network to be on alert for any police agent, for any innocent agent, for Como himself that we attempt to plant evidence among protesters on that day. We have them apprehended. We institute citizens arrest. Not even Como, it will be spare citizens arrest if it crosses this line. We will guard that protest. It will be peaceful, but it remains irreversible. Let me tell you something. We're not talking about protests of 500 persons. We are talking a protest of tens of thousands of Liberian nationals. I have been to the communities. I know the exuberance of the Liberian people. I know what is to come on July 17th. That is why I advise you. Now, it's going to be very peaceful. If there will be violence on that day, it will never be altered by protesters, by peaceful protesters. It may be orchestrated by the banditry of the police under the command of Gregory Coleman. Now, I can tell you this much. If a police agent or innocent agent is among protesters, it means that he will stand surrounded or he will stand overshadowed by tens of thousands of people. And if there's evidence that they are attempting to plant guns or to plant evidence to sabotage the protest, they will easily be arrested by citizens without any violence. We can assure you that. There will be citizens arrest. And if Gregory Comer himself is caught in that, I can assure you, power is inherent in the people. He will be apprehended. He will not be spared. Anyone that crosses the red line, to want to plant evidence among protesters, to want to create the assumption or to create a scenario that there are guns among protesters so as to kill innocent protesters or peaceful protesters, we will ensure our citizen arrest mechanism by our network of citizens will be initiated to keep our people safe and to make sure there will be no brutality on the day of this protest, because it's about this country. Liberia has come a long way for almost 200 years to continue to go down the drain of misgovernance and corruption.
He stands national chairman Mobile Molu earlier speaking was the Secretary General of the Liberia Council of Churches, Reverend Dr. Christopher Toll. The leadership of the disbanded and demobilized personnel of the armed forces of Liberia is advancing the veteran community against being part of the protest against the government of Liberia. The chairman of the disbanded and demobilized army personnel, retired General Larry Jalla, said that as a veteran, the loyalty is to the constitutional authority and not to engage in lawlessness. Addressing a press conference on July 9, 2025, Mayor Larry Jalla said veterans are not politicians, and as such, they should leave political protests to political parties and politicians. The group appealed to President and Commander-in-Chief Joseph Imambuakar to appoint new management team for the National Bureau of Veteran Affairs. According to retired Mayor Jalla, such a move will allow retired army officers to begin the implementation of segments of the government arrest agenda for inclusive development.
It has come to the attention of the leadership of the veteran community that there is a planned protest scheduled for the 17th of July 2025 by some members of the opposition community in Monrovia against the constituted government of the Republic of Liberia. While veterans have the constitutional right to express their views on public issues, their participation in political protests or rallies is subject to specific restrictions as per the UCMJ, not to undermine the state as well as the government and constitution of Liberia. As former officers and enlisted personnel of the armed forces of Liberia, we too, like other Liberians and foreigners alike, pay the utmost price for the durable peace we are enjoying today in our country. Civilians as well as soldiers, police, immigration, SSS, now EPS, and other security personnel died to bring peace to Liberia.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the veteran community extends thanks and appreciation to the Board of Directors of the National Bureau of Veteran Affairs, Republic of Liberia, for spearheading the vetting of veteran candidates for onward transmission to the President of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr., Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, for appointment to various positions within the National Bureau of Veteran Affairs. Finally, as we strive to place the Bureau on par with other government agencies based on integrity and performance, it is the hope of the leadership that veterans accused of alleged corruption in the past will not be considered. The maxim of the President for no business as usual must be of paramount importance in this case.
We commend President Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. for mustering the courage to apologize to all Liberians and foreigners alike who endured the civil wars. We veteran community also thank the President for the burial and reburial of our past leaders, including our former First Lady, Mother Nancy Bone Doe. The courage to do what our current Commander-in-Chief did will be remembered forever. As veterans, we will continue to be loyal to the government in power and will also continue to work under the authority of the Minister of National Defense whenever our professional expertise is required. Once a soldier, twice a civilian.
He is retired Major General Larry Jala, the chairman of the disbanded and demobilized Army personnel. If you're just joining us, it's a reminder you're listening to K News at 6, a 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. We are live on Facebook at Cool, also on YouTube at Cool Channel 2, and on our website at www.knewsonline.com. The senior advisor to the Director General at the Center for National Documents and Record Agency has called for sweeping reforms in the country's education system. Ebenezer Bobo emphasized the urgent need to overhaul the national curriculum to reflect international standards. Speaking with K News on Wednesday, July 9, 2025, Bobo argued that the current education structure is overloaded with too many subjects, which he believes hinder students from focusing on their future careers at an early stage. He maintained that the number of subjects that students are made to pass studying is too burdensome, stressing the need for complete reductions that allow students to concentrate on career path beginning from the 7th grade through the high school graduation.
Child in the 7th grade doing 14 subjects, 17 subjects, I think is illogical. There is a need for total reform. Let our students be specialized, at least from 7th grade. We can start teaching accounting. If that student decides to be an accountant, he starts to learn the fundamentals, 7th grade, 8th grade. So by the time he gets to 12th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, he has almost to maybe first or second semester of the course at the university level. And then getting there, it increases his passion. started this discussion with the Standing Committee on Education Chairperson at the Liberian Senate, Honorable Senator Nathaniel Fallow Magee, and indeed there's a need for reform. And by virtue of a position, I think he has a cardinal role, a committee has a cardinal role to play in collaborating with the Ministry of Education to have a review of some of these things. Because we cannot continue in this manner and form. And another thing I spoke about, the number of time the students stay in school is too long. If they can set up a criteria or a benchmark that every semester student will be promoted based on a specific average, a grade point. If that student can make an average of 90%, that student should not be in that class, he will be given automatic promotion. So if that promotion from the elementary level can stop at 8th grade within that period, a lot of the students will go further.
Peace, Senior Advisor Ebenezer Bobo. The House of Representatives has overwhelmingly passed a landmark bill seeking the elevation of Bond County Technical College to full university status. The move marks a significant step forward in expanding access to higher education in Central Liberia. The passage of the bill came after a joint committee report involving the Committee on Education, Public Administration, and Judiciary. The committee endorsed the measure, citing the growing demand for university-level education and the importance of decentralizing higher learning institutions. Bond County Electoral District 4 Representative Robert Wamba, who sponsored the bill, described the position as a game changer for the county. He noted that upgrading the institution will ensure a smoother transition for high school graduates seeking tertiary education, especially within Bond and surrounding counties. According to Representative Wamba, the college education is timely given Bond County's strategic location and its increasing population. He emphasized that transforming the college into a full-fledged university will address some of the present challenges faced by students in accessing higher education. Wamba also commended his colleagues for the support and swift passage of the bill, describing it as a victory not just for Bond County but for Liberia's broader educational advancement.
The county level, especially central region, we see a lot of youth who are determined to improve their academic standard. They have really been behind all of us, the leader, to provide the education to different country, and so I travel to Monrovia. So when they come from school, they want to go to university. They don't even have the money, the economic power to come and live Monrovia to go to University of Liberia. And everybody running one University of Liberia. Some people running, they don't have any cash to go to Covington. So it's difficult. So we create an avenue for the Belabor seller children to enter that particular area to get some level of university status.
What has been the reaction back home since you submitted this bill to the legislature? I mean, the people of Bond County.
Well, I have gotten no more calls. To me, I got a few calls from America. You know, it says in here they are in high spirit, and they are urging the Senate to do due diligence. So they will hear it loud from those who get in power, who surrender their sovereignty to them through the election.
One way I want to know how equipped is the PTOTC now? You are pushing for it to be to a full-fledged university. How equipped is it to provide education to the people of Bond County?
You know what? There are a lot of sons of Bond County that prepare. You know, the data degree holders that are in that place today, my brother, they are doing them. I say, I'm wondering where they come from. You know, so when I interact with them, all of them are in high spirit. Want to teach, want to go back home to teach. You know, we have a university there, so they have professors there that even go and you know, and offer time at that level too. So it's like every year, most of the university, I mean, the colleges are here, every professor will go there and offer, their service.
His Bond County District 4 Representative Robert Wamba. The lifeless body of a young man identified as Eritrea was discovered in the early morning of Wednesday, July 9, 2025, in the sugarcane farm community of Buchanan City in Grand Bassa County. Residents were left in shock following the discovery, which drew the attention of local authorities and community members. Preliminary checks revealed no sign of violence on the body. According to John F. Morris, a resident of Sugarcane Farm, the disease was well known in the community and had been battling substance abuse for several years. Morris said the young man had recently appeared weak and disoriented, raising concern among some residents before his death. Although the official cause of his death is yet to be determined, it is widely suspected that Tia may have died from drugs overdose. The incident has ignited concern over the growing drugs crisis in urban communities. Residents are now calling for immediate intervention, including awareness campaign, preventive measures, and rehabilitation programs to help curb the rising rate of substance abuse among young people.
For the 5 years, he are now taking treatment, so you don't want to take no treatment. Yeah, how you get a master, she try her best, but every good decided to do for the man, he rejected all. And finally today, he lose a life.
So he been taking in drugs?
Yeah.
So where normally he used to go to take this hostel?
You go to Yao, you go to Paul, particularly in the other area,
Okay, so to send it his remarks, have you ever observed family member coming up?
Actually, over all the time the man been with me, once his mother sent somebody on back, I think 2 times, to come and pick up and carry him. We will put money together, we give it to him. To go, when we get the money, the last time we collected the money, he went up to 6,000. He left, he went in the ghetto. All we thinking, he will already gone grand here. Unfortunately, we go see Ira again. Somebody came to me and said, well, Ira go. Ira to Murray Junction. Stay, he came back.
So right now, what could be your position?
Position in what?
Like playing a parent role or family role?
Actually, he spent some time with me.
Okay.
Being I have children,
okay.
I yet decided to host him. I did to see again. Somebody came to me and said, well, Ira go. Ira to Murray Junction. Stay, he came back.
So right now, what could be your position?
Position in what?
Like playing a parent role or family role?
Actually, he spent some time with me.
Okay.
Being I have children,
okay.
I yet decided to host him. I did to spend some time. And finally, we decided to help him to take a treatment.
So since he passed, have you called the government?
Yeah, but that's the talk with the procedure we're in now. The procedure we're in now. Because we got to go by step. From the journalists will be to the government, from the government to the health team, and then finally we see what we can do now.
All right, so let's look at the.
He is John F. Morris, a resident of the Sugarcane Farm community in Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County. Barely 4 days since the reported signing of a $1.8 billion United States concession and access agreement between the government of Liberia and Ivanhoe Liberia Limited, formerly HPX, as troubling questions remain unanswered, with civil society organizations raising alarm over the secrecy surrounding what is said to be one of Liberia's largest recent investment deals. In a surprising twist, it was not the government that informed the Liberian people, but rather the United States Embassy, which issued the first official press release confirming the agreement signed quietly on Sunday, July 6.
The Liberian public remains in dark. In a troubling development, it was not the government of Liberia but rather the United States Embassy that first informed the Liberian people of this historic deal via a press release. As a coalition of concerned civil society actors committed to transparency, accountability, and the public's right to know, we found it deeply disturbing that such a monumental agreement, purportedly the largest in Liberia's recent history, was signed in dead of night on a Sunday, July 6, without any prior consultation or immediate official statement from government. To date, there has been no public briefing, no press conference, no publication of the full agreement, and no effort to explain what is truly included in this 1.8 billion violation.
And now to draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6, we take our foreign development where U.S. President Donald J. Trump has praised Liberian President Joseph Boakai for his perfect and efficient English-speaking ability among 5 African leaders. Recently, the Liberian leader, along with 5 African leaders, met in the United States of America to have a dialogue with the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Well, on that note, we draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6. It's been a joint effort from our News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. Many thanks to our contributors and correspondents who helped in making today's edition of news a success. For and on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Benjamin Gabriel Taylor. Good morning.